Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this Marie Skłodowska-Curie Action Doctoral Networks 2023 Call Info event. So I'm very pleased to welcome you for this session. And just before starting, I would like to invite you to take a short poll, just to see a bit who you are in the audience. So which country are you joining us from? So please go to Slido, use the QR code appearing on the screen or the reference hashtag DN2023. And we will check in a minute who are participating today for this event. Let me introduce myself as well. So I'm Audrey Arfi. I'm head of sector in the MSCA Doctoral Network Unit in the European Research Executive Agency. And also let me introduce my colleagues here today with me for this introduction session. So Klaus Haupt, who is the head of unit of the MSCA Doctoral Network unit in the European Research Executive Agency. And Claire Morel, who is the head of unit of the MSCA unit in the Directorate General for Education, Youth, Sport and Culture. So thanks a lot for joining us today for this important event during which you will know and learn all about the novelties for the Doctoral Network 23 call. And we will guide you through this during this morning. Let me also remind you that you can already submit all your questions through Slido using the QR code or the code DN2023. So do not hesitate to submit already your question in advance. And we will try to answer all of them or most of them either in writing or in live during the Q&A session that will come afterwards. So just to see a bit who is with us this morning. So we have many countries represented, so this is very good. France, Belgium, Germany, the Netherlands. So we are very happy to see all of you. And let's start now with opening remarks and a few comments from Klaus Haupt. Klaus, the floor is yours.
The objective of this morning's event is very simple. We want to inform you as potential applicants and as stakeholders about the requirements of the third Doctoral Networks call in Horizon Europe that has just been opened 2 weeks ago. We will put a particular emphasis on, of course, on the novelties of the third call compared to the first 2 calls under the program. I would like to welcome in particular the MSCA national contact points to this You play an essential role in supporting applicants and in guiding the MSCA beneficiaries also throughout implementation of their projects. I would also like to extend our welcome to the colleagues from the European Commission, namely to Claire Morel, who is indeed the head of unit of the MSCA policy unit at the European Commission's Directorate General for Education, Youth, Sport and Culture. The information event this morning comes at a very good point of time. The call was just published on the 30th of May with a deadline for the submission of proposals on the 28th of November. I'm glad to say that all the relevant documents have been published on the Funding and Tender Opportunities portal, including the work program, the submission forms and the guide for applicants. So as potential applicants, you have all the elements at your fingertips to prepare a high-quality proposal that can eventually be submitted to us. The doctoral networks continue to be the flagship component of the Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions. The total available budget for the third call amounts to 435 million, which is around 50% of the total budget available for MSCA in 23. With this budget of 435 million, we expect to fund over 130 doctoral networks, which in line with the bottom-up character of the program, will span all scientific fields and areas. We expect to contribute to the training and to the skills of 1,600 doctoral candidates with that. Under the first two calls for proposals for the doctoral networks in Horizon Europe in 21 and in 22, we received around 1,000 proposals on average. This is around 20% less than the average submission figures that we used to have under H 2020. But this coincides very much with our experience that there is a drop in terms of the numbers of submitted proposals at the beginning of each new framework program. The take-up for joint doctorates and for industrial doctorates, which constitute for us a particular priority, is lower than expected, and under the 2022 call, JDs and IDs, as we call them, accounted for only 16% of the submitted proposals, in spite of the incentives that we are giving to these two implementation modes. The third doctoral networks call, which we are promoting today, features indeed some very important changes compared to the first two calls for proposals. First and foremost, we are bringing back the maximum size of a doctoral network from 360 person months to 540 person months, as it used to be the case under H 2020. This means that each doctoral network will be able to recruit up to 15 fellows for a duration of 36 months, whereas so far, for the first two calls under Horizon Europe, the projects could recruit only up to 10 fellows. For joint doctorates, given the particular complexity of this implementation mode, we have increased the maximum fellowship duration from 36 to 48 months and the overall project duration from 48 to 60 months. The rules for the industrial doctorates were already considerably relaxed for the 2022 call for proposals. My colleagues will brief you later on this morning in detail about the important improvements that have been made with this new call. For this morning's information event, we have received more than 500 registrations. So quite a big number of people are following us this morning. The agenda of the information event is relatively straightforward, I would say. We will present to you the specificities of the 23 doctoral networks call, with a particular emphasis on the novelties and with a particular emphasis, of course, on the incentives that have been put in place for joint and for industrial doctorates. The second part of the information event will feature a Q&A session. You already had the opportunity to ask questions through Slido in advance of the event, and you will have the further opportunity to ask questions this morning. We have tried to make the event as interactive as possible through the use of Slido and also by introducing some quiz questions and some polls and surveys during the event. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention. I wish you a very fruitful event and hope to see many of you involved in the preparation of excellent project proposals for the doctoral networks. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Klaus, for this nice introduction. It seems that we had a small technical issue at the beginning of your speech, so maybe some of the participants could not hear you very well at the beginning, but I think you can catch up later on with the recording. Let me now give the floor to Claire, who will give us also some background about the policy of MSCA and in particular of doctoral networks. Claire.
Thank you very much, Audrey, and thank you very much, Klaus, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My turn to welcome you in this event on the doctoral networks and in the name of the European Commission. So as you have heard, the Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions, or the MSCA in short, are the main instruments at EU level to develop, to attract and to retain talent in research and innovation in Europe. And you will hear that the program has not only a positive impact on the individual career path of researchers, but also on the organizations that are taking part in the program. The program has 5 complementary actions, and the one that will be presented to you today, the doctoral networks, they foster excellence, they promote international and intersectoral cooperation, mobility, as well as interdisciplinary cooperation, which are a key feature not only of the doctoral network, but all other MSCA actions. And they prepare fellows to become accomplished researchers for the academic but also the non-academic life. The feature that I've just described were introduced by design in order to achieve wider strategies at EU level in terms of competitiveness, sustainability, equity, and international cooperation. And accordingly, all the projects that we fund, all the doctoral networks that we fund, have to play a crucial role in building blocks toward achieving those wider EU strategies. At the same time, I think as Klaus has mentioned, they advance knowledge and science in all fields thanks to the bottom-up nature of the program that does not target particular scientific fields. So the program is open really to all scientific fields. Like all actions under the MSCA program, the doctoral network must reflect, let's say, the key principles of the program that have been developed over the years. And these include fair and transparent recruitment, transferable skills, strong focus on skills development, career development, open science, equity, academic freedom, inclusion, and building sustainable links amongst partners participating in these networks, whether they are from the academic or the non-academic world. And of course, as all other MSc action, this program is open to the whole world. So in this context, let me highlight one of the most, let's say, strategic benefit of the MSCA Doctoral Network, and that's what we call the structuring effect that I've just mentioned. And here we talk of the positive impact that the MSCA has in terms of maintaining cooperation beyond the lifetime of the project themselves. So we're talking here about the impact that the program has on the academic and the non-academic organization that are involved in widely spreading excellent standards in high-quality training programs. I'm talking here as well of the positive impact that the program has on organizations in terms of increasing their attractiveness, in terms of increasing their international visibility. And as Klaus has also mentioned, we try every year to improve the program. So every year we introduce novelties in order to make the program more strategic, in order as well to make it more flexible, and in order to make it simpler. So every year we receive feedback from our beneficiaries, from our program partners, from the national contact points, from the member states, and every year we try to improve it because we are determined to maintain the MSCA Doctoral Networks as the best and the more strategic ones in the world. So this is the third call under Horizon Europe. And I would say that what you will see are the doctoral networks as at their best. We've introduced a number of improvements that my colleagues from the Research Executive Agency will present to you. Amongst them are those that Klaus has mentioned, so important incentives such as increasing the grant size of standard doctoral networks or increasing the duration of joint doctoral programs by an additional years. And why are we doing that? Because we would like to see more joint doctorates funded. Why? Because the joint doctorates are acting as catalyst for structuring collaboration between higher education institutions, because the consortia have to establish joint recruitment procedures, joint supervision, joint evaluation procedures for the evaluation of doctoral candidates. And by doing that, they develop a collaboration culture. They make administrative procedures more flexible, and those hopefully become the norm in the organizations that are involved in these consortia. Finally, I'd like to say as well that we would like to see more industrial doctorates funded through the MSCA, because by teaming up with the industry or with other non-academic partners, universities establish new collaborative ways of working that last beyond the life of the lifetime of the project. Higher education institutions become more tuned to the market dynamics. They are more capable of attracting excellent researchers from all over the world, and the non-academic partner get access as well to top research talent, and they can tap into a wealth of research knowledge and know-how. And this way, the doctoral fellows can get the best of both worlds, and they become as well a natural choice for future employers. Therefore, we're quite excited about today's information event. We wish you rich discussions, and on behalf of the European Commission, I'd like to wish you a very fruitful meeting, which I hope will lead to a high number of high-quality applications. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Claire, for this introduction, and thank you, Klaus, again for these opening remarks. And I would like now to shortly remind you about the poll that is available in Slido. Please take it. It will help us also to know more about you and who is participating. I will show you the results right after the short break that we will have now for 5 minutes. So see you in 5 minutes, and stay tuned for the next part of the event, which will guide you through all the novelties and incentives of the doctoral networks. Thank you.